everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about the two types of tea that shy people should order when they go to a coffee shop. Now before we begin, I highly recommend you check out our back catalog of episodes, especially the fundamentals of tea, and I'll make sure I put some germane episodes up here. Now with Green Tea House, you don't need to be going to coffee shops if you want to get a good quality tea, but we understand that overall there's a greater preponderance of coffee shops than there are of tea shops around. And so many times you might go to a coffee shop because your friend wants coffee, but you really don't like coffee, or you can't drink coffee because of the caffeine level, or it gives you palpitations, or whatever it is. And so you're looking at the tea selection and you really don't know what to get, or you make a lot of cardinal mistakes. And the episode title is kind of tongue-in-cheek for shy people, because I've mentioned before in the episode why you shouldn't go to coffee shops to get tea. That the main thing you want to do, especially if you're getting a no oxidized or lightly oxidized tea, which, let's be honest, most coffee shops don't sell oolongs. So when we're talking about whites and greens, one of the cardinal mistakes they make is that they steep it in boiling water, which makes sense because the espresso machine cooks up the water at a very high temperature, if not boiling, then right below boiling. And we know that when it comes to the sensitive teas, like white tea, and especially green tea, it's going to make that tea exceedingly bitter. So I talked about in a previous episode how if you want a green tea, you should ask for the water and say, put the bag on the side, don't steep it yet. And then what you do is you bring the water and the bag, and then, honestly, I would wait about 2.5 minutes. Use your timer on your phone before you put the green tea bag in there. And you're like, Greg, that's a lot of work. Well, understand, if most of you guys, before you started to drink loose leaf tea, were probably drinking nondescript, well-known, large company tea bags of green tea, and you drank it and you thought, oh man, green tea doesn't taste that good. But you got used to it because you didn't know any better. And then now you start drinking loose leaf tea and you start steeping at the right temperature, like, well, green tea is amazing. So yes, if you're spending money, and at some of these coffee shops, God bless, I'll name some, like hint, one that's across the street from Green Tea House. Love that place because they charge only $2.20 for a bag of tea. But I can name some places that I've gone in San Antonio, or even places in New Braunfels, they charge $5 for a bag of tea. And so if you're spending $5 for a bag of tea, or even $2, you want to drink tea that tastes good. And by steeping it at a high temperature, your green tea, you're going to ruin it. So if you're a shy person and you don't think you can ask the barista just to give you a cup of hot water and then wait 2.5 minutes before you're steeping it, then the two categories of tea you can drink when you go to a coffee shop for shy people would be blacks and tisanes, otherwise known as herbals. And why? Well, blacks, since they're 100% oxidized, are more resistant to you not steeping them at the proper temperature. And if anything, with blacks, so your chai, your Earl Grey, your English blends, all these things, it's worse if you use a temperature that's too low. So if you use a 170, 175, 180, you're really not going to be extracting out the flavonoids, the theorubigens, and all the things that make red tea. Because the Chinese call black tea red tea because of the liquor being red. You're not going to get that really good, robust flavor profile. So when you go to a coffee shop and you order a black tea and they give it to you in full boil water, that's all right. Ideally you want it to be like 195, 200, but that's all right. And then with herbals / tisanes, full boil is fine because customarily, look, there's a zillion different types of tisanes out there, and they all gonna have slightly different temperature problems, temperature issues, temperature variations. But as a whole, whether it be cinnamon or chamomile or peppermint or licorice or rooibos or whatever it is, you can pretty much do full boil and it's fine. So in closing, for you shy people, you want to go to a coffee shop, you want to get a tea, and you want it to taste good, tisane / herbals and black teas. I would tell you, don't worry about pu'er, because pu'er is never sold at a coffee shop, and oolongs are never sold at coffee shops. Or the other option, of course, is get your green tea, but then ask and wait 2.5 minutes before you put in the green tea bag. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and God bless.